Mission 2, Trojan Horse. A month passed. For most people, 30 days was nothing. For an undercover operative, it was an eternity. Kevin had spent every one of those days cultivating his relationship with Roberts. What began as casual conversation had developed into genuine trust, or at least the appearance of it. They shared meals, discussed business, exchanged stories. Kevin met members of Robert's inner circle and became a familiar face within the forbidden fruit. To everyone watching, he appeared to be exactly what he claimed to be, a wealthy entrepreneur looking to expand his influence on Mirage Island. It was the perfect cover. The problem was that despite weeks of progress, they were still no closer to finding the master. Inside a safe house known as the 91 House, the team gathered around a table covered in photographs, maps, and surveillance reports. Daniel studied the latest intelligence. Anything? Ben shook his head. Nothing on the master. Daniel sighed. That answer was becoming increasingly common. What about Roberts? Kevin leaned back in his chair. He's definitely important. How important? Important enough that nobody questions him. That got Daniel's attention. Kevin continued. People move when he speaks. Doors open for him. Information flows through him. Ben crossed his arms. But, Kevin frowned. But I can't figure out who he's reporting to. The room fell silent. Weeks of surveillance. Weeks of infiltration. Weeks of risk. Nothing. Daniel stared at a photograph of Roberts. Something about the man bothered him. Not because he was careless. Because he wasn't. The man was too careful. Too disciplined. Too controlled. It was like chasing a ghost. What do we know? Daniel asked. Ben pointed to several files. We've identified multiple demon agents operating from the forbidden fruit. We don't care about them. Ben nodded. I know. We care about the master. Daniel looked toward Kevin. How close are you? A grin appeared on Kevin's face. Closer than I've ever been. That evening, Kevin met Roberts at the club. The older man greeted him warmly. Mr. Cole. Kevin smiled. Mr. Roberts. The two men shook hands. As always, Roberts seemed perfectly composed, perfectly relaxed, perfectly in control. The kind of man who never appeared surprised, never appeared nervous, never appeared vulnerable. Kevin had spent weeks trying to crack that facade. So far, he had failed. They sat together in a private lounge. Roberts poured drinks. Kevin accepted one. Neither touched them. Both men were too cautious for that. So, Roberts said, what brings you here tonight? Kevin leaned forward. Business. Roberts smiled. My favorite kind of conversation. Kevin reached into his jacket and produced a folded document. I've acquired something valuable. The older man raised an eyebrow. Oh, the finest wine on the island. Roberts chuckled. Everyone claims that. Kevin slid the paper across the table. Not everyone has this. Roberts unfolded it. His expression changed slightly. Not much. Just enough. Kevin noticed. The document carried a recommendation from Ball himself. Of course, it was forged. A masterpiece created by Fisher intelligence specialists. Still, seeing Roberts react told Kevin everything he needed to know. The name carried weight. Real weight. You have connections, Roberts said quietly. Kevin smiled. I try. Roberts studied him carefully. For several seconds neither man spoke. Then Roberts folded the paper. This could be interesting. Kevin seized the opportunity. I'd like to discuss the arrangement directly with the gentleman. Silence. The atmosphere changed instantly. Robert's smile faded. Not entirely. Just enough. No. Kevin blinked. No, no one meets the gentleman. The answer came too quickly, too rehearsed, too absolute. Kevin pushed slightly. If we're discussing serious business. No. Again. Firm. Final. The wall had appeared. Kevin recognized it immediately. Every operative learns the same lesson. Push too hard and people become suspicious. So he backed off. Fair enough. The smile returned to Robert's face. Excellent. The tension dissolved. But Kevin knew something important now. The gentleman existed, and Roberts was protecting him. The next morning, the team reviewed the meeting. Daniel listened carefully. He shut you down immediately. Kevin nodded, didn't even hesitate, then cursed under his breath. So we're back to square one. Not quite. Everyone turned toward Kevin. The younger Fisher smiled. I got close enough. Daniel leaned forward. Close enough for what? Kevin's grin widened. Close enough to make him think I'm useful. The realization spread across the room. A business relationship. An invitation. An opening. The door wasn't open yet, but it wasn't locked anymore. Daniel nodded approvingly. Good work. Ben smirked. I taught him everything he knows. Kevin threw a pen at him. You literally punch doors open. They open, don't they? The brothers glared at each other. Daniel ignored them. He had bigger concerns, because despite the progress, something still bothered him. The operation felt too smooth, too easy. Veteran operatives learned to respect that feeling, usually because it saved their lives. Over the next 2 weeks, surveillance intensified. Ben followed Roberts whenever possible. Kevin maintained contact. Daniel coordinated intelligence gathering. Yet every lead ended in frustration. Roberts never met with superiors, never carried sensitive documents, never used unsecured communications. His routines appeared almost impossibly clean. It was as though someone had trained him specifically to avoid surveillance. Then came the call. A business meeting. Private. Exclusive. High level. The exact opportunity they had been waiting for. The exact opportunity they feared. Inside the operations room, silence filled the air. Daniel looked at both brothers. This is probably our best chance. Ben checked his weapon. About time. Kevin adjusted his jacket. We get the gentleman, we get the master. Maybe. Daniel's expression remained serious. Or maybe we walk into a trap. Nobody laughed, because they were all thinking the same thing. The enemy had been quiet for too long, and in their line of work, silence was usually the sound of something dangerous waiting around the corner. The meeting was scheduled for midnight. None of them knew it yet, but before the night was over, everything would go wrong.